YouTube, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. We are here for another episode at the Bettors Edge, guys. We are on an absolute heater, up over 8 units in the last 5 days. We haven't had a losing day since Friday, guys. Make sure you guys are checking into my videos, following my predictions, and following my plays. We got a massive, absolutely massive game tomorrow night in Seattle. We are going to Week 16 in the NFL. For all intents and purposes, this is the NFC West championship game. The winner of this game puts themselves in a clear position of winning this division and potentially earning the #1 seed in the entire NFC. Guys, let's go back. Just a few weeks ago, we had a barn burner of a game. No, it wasn't a shootout on the field, but it was an instant classic in LA where the LA Rams hung on for a 21-19 victory in the first matchup between these two teams. Do not let the scoreboard fool you guys in this matchup going into Seattle. This game was dominated, absolutely dominated by the Seattle Seahawks. This was like a 26-14 edge for Seattle when it comes to first downs. When it comes to yards, the Seahawks had nearly 420 yards to the Rams, 250 if I'm not mistaken. The Rams were dominated at home in this game, and they squeezed out of this game with a 2-point victory. With that said, guys, and I don't say this lightly, the Sharps are on Seattle at home on Thursday night. There's a few things you have to take into consideration when capping this game, guys. Number one, first and foremost, the Seahawks are at home. The Seahawks are one of the very few teams. It's a very big misconception that home team gets 3 points in the NFL. That's an outdated system that does no longer apply. But the Seahawks are one of the very few teams that do have a true home field advantage. This line right now sits anywhere between Rams -1 and Seahawks -1. For all intents and purposes, it's basically a pick'em. With that said, let's just use Seahawks -1 as our official number for this game. I'm going to go with that because that's the way this line is trending in this direction. And by the time this game kicks off, I expect to see how the Seahawks to be favored consensus at all the major sports books. It's not there yet, but it's moving in that direction. I say all of this to say the Seahawks are one of the very few teams that have a true home field advantage. That home field advantage is probably worth close to 2 points. So on a neutral field, these two teams are basically a pick'em. These Sharps, and I don't say this lightly either, are riding with the Seahawks. That doesn't mean the Seahawks are the right play here, guys. The Sharps were also on Miami at +3.5 on Monday, and that didn't turn out very well for those Sharp bettors. But I do say it because they're on the Seahawks for a reason. First and foremost, they're at home. They have a true home field advantage. Number two, they dominated the game in LA. I talked about the yardage discrepancy already, 420 to 250 in favor of Seattle. 26 first downs to like 12 for the Rams. They dominated that game everywhere except for where it matters on the actual scoreboard. The Rams, with all of that said, guys, have major advantages in 2 key areas. One of them for sure, we'll talk about that briefly right now, is at quarterback. Matthew Stafford is the MVP, more than likely, of the entire NFL. He's an elite quarterback. And we know that the Seattle Seahawks have Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is the reason why Seattle lost this game the very first time, guys. Let's make no bones about it. He threw 4 interceptions. He's going to make more mistakes tomorrow. Sam Darnold is one of my least favorite players to bet on at the quarterback position in the entire NFL because when it comes to big games, when it comes to elite defenses or very good defenses like the Rams have in this case, you can rest assured Sam Darnold is going to make mistakes. Whether it's pick sixes, whether it's interceptions, whether it's fumbles returned for touchdowns, whatever the case is, he's going to make mistakes. He sees pressure when it's not there, which is the infamous I'm seeing ghost. That still is a problem for Sam Darnold when he's playing quarterback position. I hate betting on Sam Darnold. He is, as I mentioned already, the reason why they lost the first matchup. The other clear advantage, and Mike Macdonald is a good coach, But Sean McVay is an elite head coach in the National Football League. The other major advantage is at the head coach position, if you want to call it. There's a clear edge, in my opinion, at quarterback and head coach for the LA Rams. And as I talked about already, there is a clear advantage for the Seahawks. They have the 12th man. They have the home field advantage. The weather tomorrow, which we haven't even got into just yet, is a clear advantage for the Seahawks. It's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be windy. This game is going to be a low-scoring affair. I think that also favors the Seahawks. As I keep talking about, the Sharps are on the Seattle Seahawks tomorrow night. If the discrepancy in quarterback was a little bit less, I would feel much more confident in what I'm getting ready to say. But we have to deal with the facts and the circumstances as they lie. If the Rams end up winning this game, this division is over for all the participants, for the Seahawks and for the 49ers. If the Rams end up losing this game, it opens the door for the Seahawks to win this game. It also opens the door for the San Francisco 49ers to win this game. I don't say this with a ton of confidence. I'll be honest with you guys. There's not a huge edge in this game on either side. The public is riding with the Rams. They're the better team. They have the edge at quarterback. They have the edge at head coach. I already talked about the Sharps being on the Seahawks side. The Seahawks dominated the first game. They have the weather advantage. They have the home field advantage. And in the Sharps' mind, they're going to dominate this game again. And it's just going to take one or two less mistakes from Sam Darnold for them to pull this game out. Ultimately, that's what this game is going to come down to. How many mistakes is this donkey at quarterback going to make? If it's going to be 4 interceptions again, they're going to lose this game at home outright, just like they lost the first game. If this donkey at quarterback makes less mistakes, it's not going to be 0, guys. I can promise you that right now. If it's 1 or 2, the Seahawks, with the edge at home and the weather, have a chance to win this game outright. As I mentioned already, I don't say this with a ton of confidence. I don't like backing this quarterback. But given what we saw on the field in the first game in LA, and given the home field advantage, and given the weather advantage, where this game is going to be played with heavy winds up to 40 mile per hour gusts at time during this game, I do lean towards the Seahawks. I'm not going to sit on the edge here. I'm not going to sit on the fence and play both sides and tell you it could go either way. It absolutely can. I'm backing with the Sharps the Seattle Seahawks. And I say that very lightly with very little confidence. It's a one-star play. It's the smallest play that I do give out on this channel. I think we see them outplay the Rams again. I think the donkey at quarterback, I'm going to continue calling him that because I hate backing him, is going to make mistakes. It's going to happen, guys. We're just going to have to accept the facts. Sam Darnold's going to throw an interception tomorrow. He's going to lose a fumble, and he's going to put his team behind the 8 ball at least once, maybe even more than once. But we have to hope that it happens less frequently than it happened the first game in in LA. Give me the Seattle Seahawks at home -1 to win this game outright, to take a lead in the division going into the final 2 weeks of the season, to be the #1 seed for the time being after tomorrow night in the NFC, and the Seahawks end up winning this game. I'm not a believer in this team long term to win this conference. I don't believe they're the second best team in the NFL like Vegas does, but we're only talking about one game here, guys. I think they're good enough defensively. We saw them shut down Matthew Stafford the first game in LA, and I think they're good enough offensively to do just enough despite this donkey at quarterback to end up winning this game. Guys, I have a massive, absolutely massive weekend coming up on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday. We have a ton of huge games coming up, and I have huge plays. This is my smallest play, if you want to call it the weekend, on Thursday night that I have coming up. I have a huge play in boxing on Joshua, Jake Paul. I have a huge play Oklahoma, Alabama. I have a huge play Saturday. We have Saturday NFL coming up, and I have a huge play on Sunday coming up. Guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. This game is going to be a blockbuster game tomorrow night. There's not a huge edge in this game, but it's going to be a huge game in terms of NFC rankings. It's going to be a huge game as far as playoff implications, and it's going to be a brilliant game to watch. But it is a true toss-up. Give us the Seattle Seahawks at home tomorrow night to win this game.